The second thing is I keep believing in disruption. I keep believing in innovation. I think this category is a wonderful, let's say, industry of traditions, and we need to respect that very humbly.
Hey Watchtime Community, wir sind bei Bulgari und neben mir sitzt Jonathan Brinbaum, the new director of the watch business of Bulgari, die das erste Mal auf der Messe sind. And thank you, Jonathan, for having us and talking to us.
No, thanks. Thanks for being here.
It's
thanks
amazing.
For being in Bulgari.
And I would just jump right in. It's the first time that Bulgari is participating at Watches and Wonders. What does it mean for the brand?
No, it's a very important moment for us. Very important, and we're very happy. Very happy. Very thankful to the Watches and Wonder committee. It's been a great discussions to find the right location, and I think that's really what the brand wanted, to come in the right way, at the right time, and with the right setup. Here we're welcoming you in our Roman temple, and that's really what we wanted to do. 1,000 square meter of pure Romanity, and second, it's for us also the right time, because Bulgari has done so many things in watchmaking over the last 10 years, so many records, but also so many designs. It was, I think, the right moment to make this statement that we are a jeweler, but we are also a jeweler watchmaker with Bulgari.
It is a statement indeed, let me tell you. When you come in, there are two parts of the fair, and there is no way you can miss Bulgari. It's an incredible booth.
Thanks
Very
to
well done.
The Romans, you know,
Yes.
this Pantheon inspiration of the columns you can see from the outside remain, I think, one of the best way to make a monument visible. So we just tried to replicate what Romans did in the past.
Very well done. Before we talk about the products that are incredible, you are the new director of the watch business.
Yes.
You're following Antoine Poir. Can you share a bit maybe about your role for our audience who isn't so familiar with it, and how the first months have been for you?
You know, I'm new to the role, 10 years in Bulgari, a long, I would say, love story with our Roman brands. I would have never expected to spend 10 years in Bulgari, to be honest, but completely in love with the depth and the richness of this brand. And, you know, we were talking about Rome. I think it's not by chance that this brand is offering so many experiences, so many inspiration, because Rome is an endless source of inspiration. So I had the chance to navigate in other categories, working in fragrances, working in jewelry, in watches and accessories also. And it's been a wonderful journey. And today, in charge of the division of watchmaking, which means supervising the design, supervising the creation of what will be the future of Bulgari watchmaking, the industrial part also. Bulgari, it's 3 manufacturers that we have been years after years crafting with this really true intent and belief that we had to verticalize our production and in-house build our movements. And it's Le Sentier, it's Segno Léger that we just extended dial and cases and métier d'art, as we say, mestieri d'arte in Italian, and Neuchâtel, where we assemble. So it's about supervising those 3 sites and around 400 people that are working in this division to still surprise, still disrupt with new designs, with new records. And I can tell you the first 6 months has been simply wonderful, very exciting, and feel very fortunate about the journey ahead.
Amazing. Let's talk about the record. It's the 10th record.
Yes.
In 11 years.
Yes.
It's incredible. How did you manage to reduce the height for the tourbillon to just 1.85 millimeter and having now the thinnest tourbillon on the market?
You know, it's besides the record, there's this will within Bulgari to always make things impossible possible. There was his intent to always push the boundaries, pushing the limit of, you know, what could be the constraint we have on the watch and on the movement. And it all started with Finissimo in 2014 in the set, as you said, of 9 different world records. exploring all the different movements, all the different kinds of complications, each time coming with the thinnest. The thinnest because originally it was this intent of doing the thinnest watch that could fit perfectly the shirt. And you know how Italian can be very sensitive about their style, and as such they needed a watch that could fit that. So it started from design, and then we complemented it with engineering. And I think Ultra and the tourbillon is all about pushing the boundaries of engineering to the next level. It's 8 patents that are different on this watch, and it's reviewing basically all the possible items of this watch. You know, I mean, from the tourbillon cage, how it's positioned, we had to revert it completely to actually drive that thinness. The glass, also how it's positioned. The materials that are used for the main platine, you know, moving to tungsten carbide for the solidity of the materials. The bracelets, because you need to imagine that with that level of thinness on the case, we had to also to reshuffle the bracelet and how the bracelet can actually fit. So it's all those items that we had to review one by one, facing each time challenges of existing patterns that we had to go around, challenges of physics, because there are things that are still very difficult to counterbalance, and power reserve, because the more you go in thinness and the more on top you use a tourbillon, which is a complication using energy, that was also the challenge of driving that, and we are coming with more than 40 hours of power reserve on this watch, 4 Hertz also, so a very energy consuming movement. All of this, you know, made this journey wonderful, and 9 months of development, because that's the other element. We did all of that in the last 9 months. So it's a wonderful exercise of all the Bulgari and all our partners together.
This is incredible, really, the spirit of like just getting the strength to be even better and better, because there was a thin watch before you had, you know, and still making it so wearable and so, you know, but still in this design and the DNA of the Finissimo collection.
Yeah.
What would you say are can you elaborate a little bit more about the technical innovations, like, or the breakthrough moment, and how did it make even the team feel, you know, like when you have this point of, oh my God, we can do it?
Yeah. You know, it's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster that we always experience with our engineering, development, design, technical teams, because each week you have a different obstacle. Each week you receive a phone call saying, wow, the barrel is not going to work the way we think. The glass is going to be a challenge. The tourbillon itself, the structure of the tourbillon is protected by another patent. We need to review the way we're going to position it. That's simply an endless, you know, roller coaster of emotion, of a challenge that is then, you know, immediately backed by a hope. And what I really want to celebrate today is the passion, because none of that would have been possible without the passion that the team brought together in simply saying, we are going to face all those obstacles and find ways. And that's pure creativity, pure engineering that has been animating the spirit of Bulgari for the last 10 years. And that's what I love, because at the end, if we're not passionate about what we do, let's go home.
Please don't go home. We want to see a lot more with the next 10 years or even 20, 30 years. It's really incredible. And I can say as the audience, you can feel the spirit you guys have. And it's great to see you guys really like making such showstopper moments here at Watches.
It's a teamwork, and you know, I'm the spokesperson today, as Fabrizio could be, or as Jean-Christophe could be, but without our teams, we would be nothing. So it's really a tribute to them.
Amazing. Let's come to more of the original DNA.
Yes.
For the ladies' collection, the Serpenti has a long tradition of metamorphosis. It's been rewritten, kind of the story.
Yes.
And now we have a completely new edition with the Eterna. What do you think makes the creation so revolutionary? And we can even take it if you want.
We're just gonna take the globe. You know, today Bulgari is Serpenti and Serpenti is Bulgari. I think
Yes.
we have been able across the years to really install Serpenti as one of our most famous and powerful icon. Not to draw again here a full history of the icon, but as you know, it's Cleopatra who brought the snake in the Roman Empire at the time of Caesar, coming with those gold bracelets that she was wearing on the arm, and that's from that inspiration that Bulgari started designing the Serpenti. The first ones were crafted at the back end of the 1940s with, of course, iron watches, and then it has been an endless creativity source of creativity for all the designers and even more today, Fabrizio, to reinvent the snake. There was Serpenti Tubogas, Serpenti Seduttori, and the idea of Eterna was to come with a more abstract version of the snake, slightly less figurative, because we know that in all the cultures the snake can be quite impressive, also for ladies. It's a very powerful symbol, so it's the symbol of the perpetual rebirth, but it's also sometimes in some of our culture the symbol also of strength and of malice in some of the culture. So the intent of this watch was to go into a more symbolic way, more stylistic, with angles that are maybe purer in the design. Fabrizio did an absolute fantastic job. 2 years of development, could look simple, but it's not, on how the balance of the head, the depth of the gold would actually materialize. It's also a bangle, so with this very nice closing technique, which make the watch very easy to wear, an everyday watch, I may say, and we're very, very excited because this is really for us a new story. It's a new story we're building on the Serpenti. This comes also as the inspiration of the Viper collection we have on jewelry, which has been a very big, very big success over the last years. And for us, it's simply another way to wear the Serpenti for ladies in the next years.
It's really a great addition, I think, because it matches kind of the existing range of very playful, very jewelry-like, and there you have like a completely new design.
Yep.
In addition. It's radically minimalistic.
Yes.
In its way,
True.
It has no eyes, no scales, it's very geometric.
True.
What was the creative vision? Maybe can you elaborate more on what is the thought process of this was?
Fabrizio often says that for him, the snake is an endless source of inspiration. And we're very lucky to have that source of inspiration coming every day, drawing every day, reinventing every day what could be the boundaries of the snake, and simply coming here with this idea of symbolism, of going the extra mile in the snake, in driving the symbolic of the snake more than the snake in itself. And as such, the angles, the full setup of the watch was completely rethought. But again, big tribute to the creativity of Fabrizio Bonamassa, who keeps pushing the boundaries of the snake to next level each time.
The year 2025 is also like the lunar year of the snake.
You're right.
Was this intentional, and is this like, a moment for the brand, and also what means this kind of symbolism for this collection to have it in this year?
Yes, you're right. The snake has become an icon, and more of a true recognizable item of Bulgari. And it's true. 2025 for us was an important year. We started it in China with the Infinito Shanghai exhibition. So going back into the history of what the snake has been in the Chinese culture, and it is going to continue. It was also the year of the first automatic movements that we launched in January with the Seduttori and Tubogas version. So another milestone in talking to a different type of clientele, ladies that are more and more interested into mechanics of the watch, and we know there are more and more about ladies like that. And now, Eterna. So we really wanted to use this symbolic year of the snake to come more than ever with strong innovations around the snake.
Amazing. Let's come back a little bit more into the overall idea of merging the high watchmaking with the DNA of Bulgari as a leading jeweler. As you said, it's a lot of Roman tradition, but still, the watches are made in Switzerland. You have here the manufacturers, as you elaborated a little bit already. What role does it play in combination with the Roman DNA, but also like how does the Maison manage to unite these both worlds that could be very different so seamlessly and very well done?
Thank you, first of all. Now, you said something very true, which is there's not a lot of brands out there that carry this Italian design in its heart, incarnated by a designer, talented designer like Fabrizio, who is, every day designing for us. And at the same time, that has created over the last years so much of innovative and technical engineering manufacturers. There's not a lot of Maison that crafted 12 or 13 movements like we did in Bulgari over the last decade. And this really makes Bulgari today special in watchmaking and quite unique. Now, to your point about how do we bridge them both, I think there's a few elements. The first one is every design, every engineering we do goes back to the original inspiration of Rome. And I'm a true believer that whatever engineering, whatever innovation you bring, it always needs to tie back to who you are. So for me, if we engineer the thinness of a watch, it needs to be highly linked with the design of the octagon, which is this item that was used in the Roman architecture under the Pantheon to lighten the structure and to make sure that it was actually holding still. When we innovate in the snake or on Serpenti, for instance, driving one of the smallest automatic movement in the world today that is carried inside the Seduttori, we are doing it, but we are tying this engineering into the design and the DNA of what the brand is about. So, innovating and crafting and engineering for the sake of engineering per se doesn't mean anything. It works for us because we always tie it back to the icons we have and to who we are. And that's for me a very important bridge that we keep doing. And at the end, clients, I think, perceive it because we are, I think, today seen as a brand which has never made any compromise and which is very authentic in its story. Then we like us or we don't like us, but at least we see us as authentic.
Like coming from like what you are today, thinking about your long-time vision for the watch unit, and where do you see Bulgari in the world of luxury watchmaking in, let's say, 5 years, 10 years, if you can dream, everything happens right?
No, we have to dream, but we also have to be proud of what we have and confident about the evolution. There's a few very important points that we now have. For the future, one belief I have is that the future of watchmaking will be lady-driven. It's a true belief that I have. That the watchmaking has had wonderful years and will continue to be a wonderful industry, despite all the uncertainty that we face these days. And one of the big opportunities, I think, in this industry will be to talk more and more to women. In two ways. First of all, with designs that are inspired for them and not designs of men's watches designed for ladies. I think this period is over. We need to design watches for the taste, or at least for the taste of some, because we cannot be universal, but of women. And that's what we are humbly trying to do at Bulgari. Designing Serpenti is, a statement in designing something for women. And second, as we talked a bit earlier, also to start talk movements, because as much as I respect, the jeweler link we have and the fact that yes, watches will remain in quartz for a lot of models for ladies, there's also more and more interest from ladies to know what is behind, what is the technique that are behind, and what is the movement, and not buying simply for the design. So I'm a true believer that ladies, women will have a wonderful role in watchmaking. And as such, a brand like Bulgari has something to say, because within the market, there's not a lot of jeweler watchmakers. There's another one. But I think just next there's Bulgari with this savoir-faire. So that's one of the development that I see and that I see for Bulgari moving forward. The second thing is I keep believing in disruption. I keep believing in innovation. I think this category is a wonderful, let's say, industry of traditions, and we need to respect that very humbly. And coming in, other industries, I'm also very humble in learning what this industry is about and what all the people and watchmakers have to teach us. However, we need to remind ourselves that this industry, like a lot of industries, by the way, has evolved through innovation and has evolved through disruption. And that's what I love in Bulgari, and I will keep driving that, the disruption spirit we always had. It can come through records, as we did again this year. It can come through collaborations, as we just did within BNF, coming as simply a wonderful, authentic, genuine desire of Max Busser and Fabrizio Bonamassa to collaborate together. This is innovation. This is surprise. And, let's see in 5 years where we will be, but I truly believe that in 5 years, developing watches for women and developing disruption in the right way for everyone, because disruption, I think, works for everyone, will be two of our directing principles for the next years.
Amazing. Sounds exciting. My closing questions are always a bit more personal. So the first one is, do you have like a memorable experience or thought about a watch in your past? It could be from your profession, or it could be even earlier.
I'm very often asked the question of what brought you to watchmaking, because I'm also a perfume lover from my past life, and I will keep loving this category for all my life. But watchmaking has always had a special place in my mind and in my life. First memory that comes to my mind is my dad. My dad has been very humbly, but a watch fanatic. He's a watch fanatic, and with the money he had, because it's not that he was rich to the level of having thousands of watch, but he has, and he still holds, a Rolex Oyster Dates, this wonderful gold and steel versions of the 80s. And I keep remembering when I was a kid, touching the hand and the wrist of my dad and seeing this watch. And if I keep the story, and that's a very personal one, but I'm very, very, very unhappy with my dad, because he always promised me that this will be my 18th birthday gift, but he still holds it on his wrist. So that's a recurring joke that we're having together. But that's, the first memory I've had. And others with my wife. First engagement watch was a watch offered by my wife, a GMT Master 2, also from Rolex. And the last, and that's maybe the one that makes me the most the proudest, is my son, because I have a 10 years old son right now, and a little bit like I was when I was his age. We have wonderful experiences in Swatch stores, because when you're 10 years old, Swatch is the best place on earth when it comes to watches. And I can start to feel a bit the sparkle in his eyes when he sees watches, and that's the best possible emotion I can feel, seeing that we transmit something from my dad to myself and now to my son.
To your son. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. You have to start somewhere, right? And then, of course, a colorful, playful store is the right. Amazing. And can you just share the watch you're wearing today?
Yes, of course. I'm wearing today the Octo Finissimo 8 days Power Reserve. This one is the black DLC strap version we're launching new for Watches and Wonder. Just few words on the movement. For me, this is most likely the finest Finissimo we've ever crafted, because we were able, in the thickness of a Finissimo case, to integrate an 8 days Power Reserve movement that is visibly, held by a huge barrel that you can see here. And then, of course, we brought it in skeleton because more and more we are proud of the design of our movements, and I think a lot of our clients love to see the inside of the watches. So very, very proud of wearing this Finissimo for this first Watches and Wonder for the brand.
It's beautiful. A great choice. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Thank you very much for your time.
Danke an euch, und mehr Videos seht ihr auf watchtime.net.